To the worshiper tonight, the first place where worship was encountered was in the Old Testament. When Abraham took his son Isaac to be killed, to give him as a sacrifice. Note, the Bible does not call it a slaughter. It wasn't called a killing. It was called worship. So if we want God to turn things around for us, He is not going to turn it around until you can give up the thing you thought you couldn't live without for Him. And if there are any worshipers in here that know what I'm talking about, that I had to sacrifice one thing after another for Him, stand to your feet, lift up your spiritual antennas, and open wide your mouth and render worship unto the King. Come on. It's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. Come on, open your mouth. Open your mouth. Can you walk away from everything for Him? Lovest thou this more than me? We worship You. We worship You. We worship You, God. We bow before You. That's Barak. When you can bow before Him, come on and bow before Him. Come on and bow before Him. Bow before the King. Bow before the King. Some of y'all haven't moved yet. You got to bend your back. Bow before the King. Can you bow before Him tonight? Can you bow before Him tonight? Can you forget about your clothes? Can you forget about your pumps? Can you forget about your weave? And bow before the King. Send up incense of worship. Send up an incense of worship. Send an incense of worship. Lord, receive my worship. I know I've done You wrong. I know I went left when You told me to go right. But receive my worship tonight. Receive my worship. Yes, I know about this. Receive the emotion today. Receive my worship tonight. Let the whole house, let's sit up in incense of worship. This is where your deliverance is. This is where your healing is. Come on, sit up and incense of worship. Some of y'all need to run to this altar and lay before Him. Lay prostrate before Him. Come on and sit up and incense of worship. I will bless the Lord at all times, and His praises shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make a boast in the Lord, and the humble shall hear thereof and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt His name together. I sought the Lord, and He heard me and delivered me from all of my fears. Come on and worship Him. Come on and worship Him. Come on and worship Him. He's God. He's Elohim. He's Savior. When David was carrying back the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, David's head deacon touched the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark represents the very presence of God. You heard Bishop Trotter, we've got to be careful who we allow to be over praise and worship. How can you sing about a God you don't have a relationship with? How can you sing in all these choirs and haven't submitted to your pastor's church in vision? God healed David's head deacon. The Ark of the Covenant stayed in the house of Obed-Edom for 3 months. Got to a point that David saw everything in Obed-Edom's house was being blessed. But God turned it around. They brought the Ark of the Covenant back. Grab 3 people's hand and tell them, I'm taking the presence of God back home with me. Yeah, I know this is a musical, I know this is a recording, but tell somebody, I'm taking the presence of God back home with me. For one last time, lift those hands as high as you can. Forget about what you're struggling with. It's about to break in the next 60 seconds. Yes, Amando Shah. I feel God healing cancer. I feel God is healing cancer. No more chemotherapy. Somebody's been praying in this tabernacle. Somebody's been praying in this tabernacle. Lift those hands, and for 3, when I count to 3, just let something come out of your mouth describing who God is to you. Worship is verbal articulation. Is when you tell God who he is to you. 1, 2, 3, go on. Let him turn it around for you. Come on, watch God turn it around for you. Come on, watch God turn it around for you. Come on, go, go.